how do you make your judo translate to no-gi is what you're asking me. Ishak, I have a really good answer to that. I think it's a really good answer. It might not be. Here's my answer to you. Watch Fedor. I find that judo practitioners, when they go to over to MMA, of course they don't have the gi. They go about things all wrong. They're trying to grab the guy and pull him. They're trying to grab onto their opponent like they did in judo and pull. But you don't have the gi. You don't have any pulling levers. So be sure that a lot of your techniques are not going to work. Now, I've had the privilege of grappling on a regular basis with a lot of great judo practitioners, and with or without the gi. Now, I find that they're hard to take down. Upper body, of course, but once I grab their legs, they're kind of easier to take down because they're not seizing the legs. And when they try to take me down, I feel like I can kind of break their grips a lot and kind of push them away. However, when you watch Fedor, in my opinion, he's one of the best judo practitioners to ever practice MMA, and I'm talking only in regards to his takedowns. Okay, now he has a very different approach. What he does is he uses his striking. If you guys watch Fedor, so Fedor's here, he kind of rushes you with strikes and kind of collides. He collides with you. Now, judo is all momentum based. If you don't give me any momentum, I cannot throw you. It's very hard to throw a very well, stable, and grip breaking opponent. If every time I grab you, all you do is pummel and break my grips, you keep breaking my grips and you never push against me, or you never give me anything to work with, it is very difficult for me to do a judo throw on you if I don't have any grips. So I find that Fedor found the best solution to that. What he would do is he would throw his punches in a way that would allow him to collide with his opponent. Traditionally, boxing, we throw a punch and we pull or punch back. He didn't. He would throw a punch, fall forward into a left punch, and then his left punch would lead into a right punch, and he would kind of run forward at you and collide. And that collision would force you to give him some kind of reaction. You'd either have to push him, you'd either have to pull on him, you'd either have to take a step back, and he would use your reaction to throw you. And I thought he was brilliant to do that. I think he's the only real judo guy to ever do that. And if you look at his takedowns success, really excellent. He had incredible takedowns. He was a one judo guy who had consistent takedowns in MMA. And I feel that had to do with his philosophy. He knows all the basic throws that judo guys know. Of course, he does all the same throws. However, he sets them up completely different. He sets them up with a collision. Now, judo is brilliant when there's chaos. If you jump on a judo guy and you try to grab him and push him and shove him and pull him, he's going to throw you. However, if a judo guy grabs onto you and all you do is break his grips and all you do is kind of shove him away gently without over pushing, you'll break his grips and you'll get away from him. Like I feel like the judo guys have to follow Fedor's footsteps. If they follow Fedor's footsteps, they're going to get more consistent takedowns. You got to create chaos for judo to work. I need my opponent to push me, pull me, to stand his ground and kind of like be firm for me to throw him. I need a reaction from him. I need that action reaction for me to throw him. Now, the second best judo guy, the second best takedown guy I've seen in judo is probably Akiyama. But Akiyama was, I think he's so elite in his judo that I don't think even the best judo guys after him, the second level, I don't think they can do what he does. If you watch his fight with Jake Shields, I mean, he's done some brilliant takedowns, but he hits these takedowns in such a small window that I think you'd have to be doing judo from the age of 5 to be as good as Akiyama. Like, the guy was a gold medalist in judo. He's a master of judo that he doesn't need to go Fedor's route. I think most judokas will have more success taking Fedor's route than trying to be an Akiyama. Akiyama was just like, how could I tell you? His judo was so precise. I think it will take you 20 years of non-stop judo drilling to get to that level, to hit moves the way he does it, because they are so rare. The takedowns that he hits osotogaris from a punching position. You might see them happen here and there on lower level MMA matches, but not a consistent takedown like Akiyama does. And sometimes he's just had a great night. I think maybe he had a great night with Shields. I don't think his takedowns were as successful because he's lost other fights. If you look at his fights, he's lost some key fights. The guys who he could have took down if he had freestyle wrestling, in my opinion. If he was just a good freestyle wrestler, he would have got the takedown. But he's an elite judoka, and he still couldn't get the takedown, and it just didn't flow that way. Whereas Fedor's collision judo setups, in my opinion, are more consistent, more reliable, and in my opinion, more philosophically sound. I think it's just better thought out. So watch some Fedor fights, and I think you'll understand what I'm saying. You know, he's always creating a type of chaos with his strikes. He's kind of striking in a way that is going to cause a collision. That collision, he just rides it into a takedown. And I always found that very brilliant. It doesn't fit my style personally or any fighter I've ever trained, but if one day I come across a good judo guy with a powerful punch, I might teach him that style. If you have the room for it, okay. Now, if you're in a tight situation, if you're like in a restaurant with tables all around you, you're not going to be able to use Taekwondo, okay. But if you're in an open field, Taekwondo will work beautifully. And of course, if you're wearing pants, that can allow you to kick. Now, if you're wearing like jeans or something and you try to kick, you might sweep yourself. You know, as you throw one leg, your other jeans. I know I never threw a high kick with wearing jeans. I don't think I've ever done that, but I could see that a particular part of, like if you're wearing dress pants or something and you get in a fight, you might kick and trip yourself, you know, because when you raise one leg, the pant leg of the other will pull. So I would be careful with that, you know, like it all depends on your environment and situation. But definitely, listen, I've seen street fights and I watch a lot of street fights, okay. It's kind of a weird thing of mine. I've seen back kicks work in a street fight. Like I saw a parking lot fight once upon a time. The guy had plenty of space. They squared off. The guy was obvious. One of the guys, the guy who wins the fight, is obviously a Taekwondo expert. He managed the distance, didn't let the guy even get close to punching him. Hit him with a back kick, dropped the guy. The fight was over. So it definitely depends on the scenario you're in. Now, if you're in a crowded place, don't try to use Wonder Boy style. Wonder Boy style won't work. Wonder Boy style is predicated on having a lot of space. You're gonna have to use more boxing. You're gonna have to use more Muay Thai. So the range matters, okay? The range, the situation, the environment matters. That's why I always say, you know, I like to do karate, boxing, Muay Thai. I like to have them all because they're all great. It's all about the environment and what kind of guy am I fighting? You know, what's his weakness? What is he good at? What is he bad at? So all these things have to be taken into consideration, but it's definitely possible. Absolutely.